Hello, good evening, Good afternoon, rather, and welcome to Layout Racing League, the 2020 season finale, round 12 from Falkenberg Green Carousel, a custom layout by 9397. Joining me this evening in the commentary box is Thilo Falkenberg and Travis Mehlinger. Hi, gents.
Good evening. Oh no, good afternoon.
I know we're always on in the evening, and this is a little bit earlier than what we're used to, I suppose, over here on Sim Broadcasts. So yeah, what have we got tonight? Let's have a look. We are broadcasting the season finale from Fernbay Green Carousel. This has been a 12-race season, the second season of the Layout Racing League, which uses custom configurations in for speed with a bunch of crazy cars. It's enjoyed 2 successful seasons, and this is kind of a precursor really to the third season, which we're hoping is going to be the biggest season of Layout Racing League yet. I've been fortunate enough to compete in the first and the second season of Layout Racing League. I actually won the first season, and then competed in one of the rounds this season before we started doing all this broadcasting stuff. So a great season, a great event to get involved with next time out if you guys who are listening fancy joining in with some crazy layout racing. Yeah, it's been a good season so far. I've been part of the stewarding panel for New Dimension Racing for it, and tonight here we are at Fernbay Green Carousel, 4 kilometre, 2.5 mile custom configuration with a flyover. Travis and Thilo, have you had a chance to look at the layout yet?
I have. I'm excited to call this race because I remember in the days of LFS yore, I remember really wanting to drive some parts of this track that you couldn't back then, and now we've done some really creative work to make an interesting circuit out of Fernbay Green. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. On race direction tonight is Jonathan Provost and Thilo. Yeah, you've done a couple of laps in the F5 round here. What do you make of it?
It's rather interesting to drive around this track, especially since we start at the rallycross portion of Fernbay Green, and all the gravel parts have been paved over with some concrete, which might not be as grippy as the regular tarmac, but it is making the tire choice easy today. So probably everyone is going to use the full street tires, or even the sport tires.
Something that's probably not as clear cut is whether everyone's going to use traction control or not. There's been quite a lot of speculation as to what's quicker. Some people choosing to use traction control 100% of the time, some people opting to use it for part of the lap, and some people not using it at all. But yeah, we do have some championship standings for the series. As far as I know, Thilo, I think the championship's actually been wrapped up by Trespasser, who has won the championship a few rounds ago now, actually. He leads the way with 166 points. Then it's Michael for MRC and a bunch of other people. And yeah, there's been a lot of different drivers competing up and down the order in this series. So we do have quite a lot of results to show. And yeah, there's only a couple of points paying positions, so it's quite hard to score points in the Layout Racing League, which is why you can see quite a lot of drivers who have not managed to score any points, and some with actually negative points, which is an interesting way of looking at this season. But anyway, 12 round season, we're in the final round now. Trespasser has taken away the title, Michael secure in second as well, but the rest of the places could be up for grabs today, depending on who shows up and how everyone does.
Yeah, just as you've been watching the first page, the second half of the first page, the positions from 13th down to 24th are just apart by 3, 4, 5 points. So
yeah, it's really close. Not as close as the third page.
Definitely. Plus some notable names with negative points. Matthias Pekkarainen for Team Rock Racing, for example.
Absolutely. Anyway, so back to what's happening on Sim Broadcasts over the next couple of days. So this is part of the NDR New Dimension Racing double header weekend. Today we've got the Layout Racing League, which is going to be about probably an hour and a half of screen time today. Then tomorrow we head to the TBO Challenge, and that's coming from Sim Broadcasts from 3 o'clock, so the same time tomorrow. South City chicane route. Not quite sure who's going to be on comms for that, but I think it's going to be me, Chris Ford, Owen Harmon, and possibly Jonathan Palmer. Not sure, but hopefully a good team of commentators bringing that from to your ears tomorrow. So we hope to see you for that. So yeah, as I mentioned, today's racing comes to you as part of the NDR doubleheader weekend. So yeah, plenty of good stuff to watch this weekend alongside the Formula 1.
And the 24 hours of
and
Spa.
the 24 hours of Spa, yeah. Should give a shout out to Dennis Lind, who's driving for Lamborghini this weekend as well.
Yeah, just tuned in right before the race broadcast started, and he was already having an off track.
Yeah, the commentators had a good laugh at that.
It's one thing I've enjoyed about Live for Speed, playing it years ago, and then watching the progression of racing careers, was seeing names out in real race cars and big events that we drove with in Live for Speed years ago. That's been fun to see. Good for him.
Yeah, absolutely good for him. Yeah, around about 3 minutes to go until qualifying here. It's a 20-minute qualifying session, and around about a 40-minute race, I think. And yeah, so about an hour of action coming to you in just a few moments' time. So we've got quite a healthy grid, around about 25 drivers, I think, right now. If one of you can make sure that number's correct, that'd be great. But I think we have got around 25 drivers. Some names that we've seen before, some that we haven't. This is an open championship, so anybody can turn up. We don't know who's going to be here until qualifying starts, which is always makes commentary quite fun.
Indeed.
But we're ready for it.
Just to give you an impression, lap time wise, currently the top time in free practice is a 2-minute 12-second.66, held by Team Rock Racing's Texas.
Yeah, that's quite fast. I think the fastest time that we saw in kind of before this race was Nova. He did a 2-minute 10, I think. But that he made the track, I think, or had some hand in. Oh no, he didn't make the track. 9397 made this track. But yeah, Nova's using it. He's done a bunch of practice, and he set a 2-minute 10 in practice, I believe. But yeah, I wonder whether anyone gets anywhere near that in qualifying. That would be quite impressive. It was a very nice lap to watch. But yeah, 19 laps the race, and it should start at around about 15:50 UTC, so about 40 minutes time-ish.
So currently 22 races on the server, with varying degrees of practice put into this event, because it's more a casual series. But right up there you see the track map, 18 corners, the actual rallycross part being very narrow and twisty. Then we head back to the actual Falkenberg Green track, entering the Omega section, and the name Karousel comes from a banked corner that creates an overpass over the racetrack and ends up in a banked left-hander. We see that on the bottom here of this aerial shot. And from there on out, it's pretty much Falkenberg Green until we re-enter the rallycross part, as qualifying starts right now.
Yeah, so let's take
Very
this to the
tight.
track.
Very tightly packed pit lane.
It's kind of a tough break for Texas, because he ended up further back in the line, even though he's been the quickest. We'll see if he can negotiate this traffic pretty quickly and reel off some lap times like he did in the warm-up.
So here we go then. The first Layout Racing League broadcast by Sim Broadcasts. I'm looking forward to this. I always love a bit of layout racing. It always throws some unpredictable things our way. The use of the layout editor in Live for Speed to create some fun custom configurations with some concrete bridges and flyovers and other very things we don't normally see in races. So yeah, a decent length qualifying session as well for the drivers to get in some decent lap times. As we see a course car there, navigating its way around.
Adam has forced the issue a little bit with some of the traffic ahead of him. Has one more car. Looks like a course car ahead of him that Pete called out. He should have some clear track to reel off some fast laps.
The car ahead of him, that's Chanturia in a bright orange FZ5.
Thank you, Thilo. The color of his name threw me off. I thought that was a course car, but that is I don't believe that is. I think you're right.
Nope. Yeah, with such a casual racing experience, the driver names are also rather colorful, and usually red is pretty much the color for the race direction. But this time, not necessarily.
As you said that, he's gone off, and now Adam has clear track. Go ahead, Thilo.
Yeah, just wanted to point that out as well. So Adam now coming around the last couple of corners into this very unfamiliar territory for anyone here, I guess. And he starts his first flying lap.
Texas has also started his first flying lap. He's now behind Adam with a bit of a gap. So these two, I think, should be able to put in some fast lap times as we look further back to see how the field's doing behind them.
Onto the first bit of tarmac, concrete for him. This is usually a rallycross section, but it's had concrete added over it. The only part of this track which is actually Falkenberg green is the back section. The rest of it, pretty much, is Falkenberg 5 and open config.
Adam made a really nice exit out of the, we will call it the infield, and onto the outer part of the track. Looking really smooth through here. Really good line. Another good exit using all of the road. He's looking pretty quick. Texas behind him likewise. Pretty much the same line. Also looking awfully fast. My guess at this point is these two will be the class of the field, but there's still plenty of time for other drivers to rattle off some good laps.
Great cameras this evening by Sim Broadcasts. Elmo is actually racing in this race. He tends to race in quite a lot of the races that we broadcast, and yeah, he's responsible for all of the beautiful cameras that you get to see. So thanks to him once again. As Adam with an absolutely committed lap here.
He's a little bit wide on the grass coming out of the big sweeping corner by the wall. Texas did not get on the grass and got a cleaner exit. He's a little bit scruffy into the left-hander there, so we'll see how this turns out.
Final corner of the lap coming up. And you see where the grid starts so far down. It's a very twisty start to this race. I wouldn't want to be starting too far back as Adam comes across the line to open with a 2:11. That's really fast. Is that the fastest lap we've seen in practice?
Yes, it's faster than the practice laps. Texas tops his practice time as well with a 2-minute 12:15, but he is, well, about 7/10 slower than Adam.
Yeah, 0.68 of a second there. That's quite a big margin. A good lap there from Adam. That's gonna be tricky to beat.
Tell me what you guys think. Watching Adam and Texas going around the lap in front of the rest of the field, it looks to me like they are running without traction control. Obviously, it's working for them. I think it's fair to say it's probably the quickest at this point, given that they're at the top of the list. But do I read that correctly? How does it look to you?
Yeah, I also had the feeling that they were not using the traction control. You can only see the ABS symbol popping up every now and then, but no sign of the traction control.
quite a big spread of times, and as far as I know, drivers have to set a time within 107% of the pole time to be allowed in. The race director, I'm sure, will update us with that time as the session progresses. That will be the cut-off for drivers allowed to start the 19-lap race around Fern Carousel. And what a track it is! I'm really liking the carousel section. I wonder how it is to drive. I haven't actually driven any laps around here myself.
Texas had another good lap going, was pretty clean from the start, went a little bit wide on the grass and lost the rear of the car and had to catch it. I don't think this will be a quick lap for him, unless he manages to recover a lot of time coming around the back of the circuit. Looks to me as though Adam is pitted. We'll see if he comes out again, tries to set another quick lap. He doesn't have to worry about Texas going quicker than he does right now, so he may be able to sit on this for a little bit.
I definitely think he'll be able to sit on it. For most of the session, if he wanted to, it's a very good lap. But Adam's not complacent. He'll know that someone out there will probably get close, if not beat it.
Speaking of the 107% time, currently that would be a 2-minute 20.67. So
Sim Jintas would be out and everyone below him as well. If the session finishes like it is now. Obviously, I think they can start at the race director's discretion. But yeah, the rule is 107.
Texas coming through the start-finish again to start another fast lap. He got a really, really good exit out of the last corner. Oh, but he goes a bit too audacious into the first corner. Lost the rear of the car. He's going to lose a little time here. A little scruffy again coming through the S's there. He had aborted the previous lap to cool off the tires and try to set another one, but it's already a rough start to this lap.
I think it's tricky because this dusted tarmac feels like it's not giving as much grip as the tarmac of the racing circuit parts are giving you.
Yeah, definitely.
I
It's
agree.
kind of a different. It's a hybrid between the tarmac and the rally section. It's almost. To be honest, I quite like it if you could set the grip level of the concrete that you're setting down. Might give us might give track makers a bit more flexibility when it comes to where they want to use that concrete. It's definitely not as abrasive as the tarmac. It's almost ice-like. Texas getting on the grass a little bit there, a bit of a wobble. Manages to keep out of the famous Jamaica wall. And that looks like an abort. Yep.
Yep.
Very technical lap. That's the thing about the Layout Racing League. If you've not competed in the LRL before, then speaking from experience, it's if you do practice for the races, then it's a lot easier than if you just turn up and race, because obviously you're driving on a track you've probably never seen before, as Teemu Soini starts a lap and immediately aborts it, unless, of course, that was the end of
He
the
just
lap.
improved.
Yeah, so
his
6th place,
time.
not bad. But yeah, the Layout Racing League is definitely one that requires practice if you want to do well. But some people are more naturally gifted and can just turn up and do well. I think Adam's one of those guys. Just able to be quick at whatever he puts his hand to.
Manjula's just set a quick lap,
Likewise,
2:12.23.
yeah, that's a very nice lap.
He was it was a little bit rough at the start of the lap. I followed him around, and he was super clean in the end of the lap. If he can get it together in the first part of the lap on this really tricky, dusty, slippery section, he might be able to challenge for the pole. It'll be tight.
Well, on Tuesday we've seen him throwing away a pole time, a potential one.
Yeah, you're right, in the Team Racing Championship.
This time, though, Mandula not racing his favorite FZR skin on any car. He's racing the 4 players community skin from the old German Live for Speed community.
It's a bit of a throwback.
Definitely. You could get boxed copies of Live for Speed from there back in the day.
Texas heavy over the curbs onto the grass yet again. This probably won't be an improvement.
It's clear he's trying to get as much as he can out of the car. Looks like he's overdriving just a little bit and going a little bit too hard, kind of losing control of the car, not finding the time.
Yeah, and that'll be an abort from him.
About 8 minutes left in the session. TC Racing's Adam currently in front of Texas, Mandula. Then his teammate Redbird just improved into 4th position. Last Lap Motorsports Sobis in 5th. Chanturia in 6th. Magic 7th. Timo Soini 8th. TC Racing's Elmo in 9th. 10th. Gottini, Fortejo. Essam in 11th, 7 in 12th, so he must have got the message wrong. Minvi in 13th, Ashk in 14th, Yerloko in 15th, and Simjintas and the following drivers, Kimi Dani, Boosted, and Pit Lane Racer are currently outside of the 107%.
Following Sobis, he's done a very quick first split, 46.5. Now he's done a 15.53. It was really, really smooth through the carousel. Now coming around the back of the circuit to the sweeping right-hander by the wall. If he can keep it together here and not get on the grass, this should be pretty good. Uses a lot of curb, just to the edge of the pavement. I think this will be a quick lap.
Sobis is very, very fast. He's been around the block a few times as the LLM driver. Some of you may remember him from the GT2 World Challenge. And also, GT2 World Series, GT2 Challenge, and some other races like that.
He also was in the opening round of
Cup.
the... Yep.
Very smooth.
He went slightly wide to the left-hander there, to the line.
Doesn't improve.
It was 6/100th of a second slower than his previous best lap.
It looked really good till the very end. It looked like he was a little bit wide into the left-hander toward the end of the lap. Compromised his line coming around through to cross the finish line there by the pit wall. Otherwise, a pretty tidy lap.
Looks like Redbot's been in the wall at some point during this lap. Wonder if it'll be an improvement. Guessing by the damage, probably not, as he heads into the last corner. It's a tricky left-hander, doubling back on itself. No improvement for Redbot.
Adam has chosen to sit on his laurels and watch his time remain at the top of the list. Texas has not given up, but he had a scruffy infield and is now stuck behind lap traffic. Looks like he's backing off to try another lap. If Adam does feel compelled to defend his pole position, he won't have much time. He won't have much time to get out and do a warm-up lap and set another time. So unless he's out in the next few seconds, I think that'll be it from him.
I guess you're now having about 2 shots left, time-wise.
Yeah, with the 2 minute, roughly 15 outlap, I guess. You don't want to overheat the tyres on your outlap, so you've got to take it a bit steady. Yeah, you've got about 2 laps to go. But I don't know if the tyres even last 2 laps. Oh, as Angatini gets it all wrong. Yeah, that won't be an improvement. That's, the end of his lap is stunning. The F-Sub5 is notorious for eating curbs quite well, but that didn't look stable at all over those big curbs.
Well, the FZ5 is notorious for so many different things. big, heavy, thirsty car.
Texas had a good start to his lap and then got it wrong coming through the infield, and he's aborted.
Three and
With
a half
Mandula
minutes
coming around.
for Mandula.
Go ahead,
yeah.
Pete.
No, it's okay. Mandula, I think he's on a lap, right?
No, he's starting.
He's coming around to start a lap.
Okay, there we go. So let's watch Mandula do a lap of the carousel.
He took a tighter line out of the last corner, so he didn't go all the way out to the pit wall. It looked like it may have been a little bit quicker. A good exit there. Using a ton of curb just onto the pavement. This might work. He got it back onto the gray part, out of the dust.
Yeah, Spa levels of track limits there.
This looks pretty tidy to start.
See that traction control light flickering?
One thing I noticed about Mandula's driving that's a bit different from Texas is you can hear pretty clearly that Mandula is, well, he's using the traction control, but he's always much smoother into the throttle. Texas obviously wants to get the power down pretty quickly. He seems like he's a little bit too eager trying to find that time. Mandula's a bit smoother,
Yeah,
but not as quick.
not yet. Could contrast Mandula's driving to his driving less than a year ago. It's very different watching him. He's improved so much this year. You know, consistently better results as pit lane racer moves out of the way and Mandula heads into this awesome carousel section.
He was about
Really
3/10 off that split, but he's so smooth through here that I think he'll find the time on smoothness. 15.5 is not a bad second split. We'll see how this goes.
Nicely judged there. He's got a bit of traffic to contend with up ahead. Hopefully it doesn't get in his way.
He was really good through the right-hander. He was not all the way out of the throttle. He got the car slowed down, stayed.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Still keeping his head down on the track and
Red
continuing
Dot moves out
on
of
the
way
lap.
as well.
He might have another shot after this.
Yeah.
His tires look okay, maybe a little bit warm, but
Well, he doesn't have a choice. He can either go for it. I mean, if he aborts the run, then that's it. But to the line,
it's still a mighty good lap. Half a second slower than his previous fastest lap, but still, considering the traffic he faced.
yeah.
I'm sure he'll be a bit frustrated having the lap traffic there, knowing that he was able to get around through the lap traffic and still set a 12.76.
And actually, Adam was caught up in that lap traffic as well. So he tried to do another shot, but had to forfeit it.
Fun fact: the rallycross section on this track was the first track that we used our overlays on, the sim broadcast overlays.
Yes, back in TRR days.
Back at the beginning of the year.
Mandula set a very good first split, 46.5. He's level with Texas and Adam, and he's looking really, really smooth through here. Just touches the wall. I don't think it compromised him at all.
Texas had a great split time. He was just exiting the carousel.
Yeah, Texas has been the only driver in these. Well, only driver out of the top two has actually been trying to improve his lap. Adam's so casual that he's just did the one run, I think, and basically said that'll do. But let's see if Texas can manage it. The clock has hit 0.
Mandula's aborted. He went a bit wide over the curbs after the carousel and pulled off.
Good third split. Now let's see if he can translate it.
Final corner. Bit sideways, but this will give him a good run onto the home straight. Needs to keep it tight. And he does. Would it be an improvement?
It is.
Wow, it's
Ah.
close. 400ths of a second. Adam, you lucky, lucky boy.
That was an excellent lap. I was watching Mandula, so I didn't see the beginning of the lap, but through the sweeping right-hander and around the back of the course, he looked awfully smooth. That was really, really good. Just off the pole. He should be proud of that, though.
Redbot will be the last car to finish a lap. He's on the green section of the lap. Coming up to the final split. Looks committed. And his car's got less damage on it the last time we saw it. Which means it might be an improvement. He's only 300ths of a second behind his teammate.
But I don't think it's going to be an improvement. Split time was not too good. Very cautious driving by him, coming around the final bend and spinning out of it.
Before the line, yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that rounds out the 20 cars. We will have to wait and see what the race director's decision will be, because I do believe that 3 of the cars on that list have not set a fast enough time to be within 107% of the pole time. So we'll have to wait to see whether Kemidani, Boosted, or Lumos can start the race. If they don't, we'll have a 17-car grid for the 19-lap race around Fern Bay Carousel. And yeah, that'll be coming up in just a few moments' time. Fun session, fun track, definitely. And if you fancy getting involved in the Layout Racing League, then keep your eyes peeled for Season 3, which should be announced on the LFS forum in the new year.
So qualifying's done and dusted, quite literally, considering that we have a rallycross section. TC Racing's Adam on pole position, just 4/100th of a second in front of Texas for Team Rock Racing. Then we have the Race Green Autosports duo of Mandula and Redbot. In 5th position, Last Lap Motorsports Sobis, followed by World Class Lions Timo Soini. Chanturia in 7th position, the 3rd Race Green Autosports car, Magic in 8th. 9th position is TC Racing's Elmo. He's followed by Teos Ngotini. 7 qualifies in 11th position, Minvi in 12th, Argentina Turismo's Hierro Loco in 13th, Essam in 14th, Akshay in 15th, Global Gaming's Simgintas in 16th, and Pit Lane Racer in 17th. Currently outside the 107%, Kamidani, Boosted, and Lumos.
Thanks a lot for that, Thilo. We have around about 10 minutes to the start of the race, and I'm going to let you know what's coming up on Sim Broadcasts over the next few weeks' time. Most notably, tomorrow we have, as part of our NDR doubleheader weekend, the return of the TBO Challenge 2020 Round 2, coming to you live from the streets of South City, and that'll be from 3 o'clock here tomorrow on Sim Broadcasts, 3 o'clock UTC. And yeah, gents, did you catch the first round of TBO Challenge from Westhill a couple of weekends ago? Thilo or Travis?
I'm sorry to say I didn't.
Ah, well, you should definitely definitely tune in tomorrow then.
I think I will. I'm going to do a 6-hour race in iRacing, the LMP2 at Le Mans, which I think will be a lot of fun. And then when that's done, I think there will still be time for Turbo Challenge. So I'll check that out.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the F1 tomorrow. So fitting everything in for you is going to be difficult. But yeah, you can always catch it on demand on our YouTube channel.
I think I will do that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe there, please.
Absolutely.
I'll add the American flair. Smash that like and subscribe button.
Whoa.
Next Tuesday on Sim Broadcast, we return to the Team Up Racing Championship, round 40 from Blackwood Historic Reverse. That's in the GT2s. Then we have the Bagheera Zero Mileage GT Cup returning on the 1st of November for the finale of that series, where the big prizes get handed out. Who's going to take away the big prize? Is it going to be Isaac Price? Is it going to be Patatas Lugutskas? Answers on a postcard to Sim Broadcasts somewhere in the world. And
Okay.
yeah, all will be revealed next weekend on the 1st of November.
Our viewers are just piling on more. There's Bean Zero observes that there's also BTCC tomorrow. So if that's
wow.
your jam, you're going to have some
Yeah, I
difficulty
forgot about
fitting
the
all of this in.
BTCC. So much stuff going on in the world of racing.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a lot
definitely
happening.
watch TBO Challenge live and the
I
rest
think
on DVR.
TBO Challenge is going to be the best action tomorrow. Even if you just watch the first 3 corners of TBO Challenge, I think that's going to be your entertainment for the week.
It will certainly have the smoothest talking commentators.
I don't really know how to
Silence.
respond to that. Yeah. Yoni says in the chat, more action than the F1. I mean, I didn't catch qualifying today from Portimao in the F1, so that's one I'm going to have to catch up on.
I think bar a few interesting exceptions, I think that's mostly true of Formula One. Probably more action here than Formula One.
Well, I mean, Turbo Challenge last time out was very, very, very action-packed.
Yes, indeed. 3 safety car periods, 3 restarts. All 3 cars actually within reach of each other. Now tomorrow there's going to be the handicap ballast coming into play as well.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. 20 kilos for Isaac Price and the other top 5 drivers with 4 kilos below each other. 16, 12, 8, 4 kilos apiece for the top 5 drivers in the TBO Challenge. Plus obviously the air intake restriction for each of the cars. Isaac's XRT is going to be quite hampered, I think. A little bit. I think it will affect him around the streets of South City. Time will tell. Wonder how he's getting on in practice.
This is the other thing. The track tomorrow, it's going to be the chicane route. So very tight bottleneck there in the middle of the lap. Plus a very fast start-to-finish section, actually exiting the final hairpin down to the hairpin underneath the motorway. There's going to be one long straight with undulations of the track and slight kings to the left and right.
5 minutes to go before the start of the race here at the Layout Racing League. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in just a few minutes' time. Welcome back to coverage of the Layout Racing League season finale here on simbroadcasts.tv. Just before we get going for the start of the race, we've brought TC Racing's Adam into the commentary box. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
Now, how many laps did you do in qualifying?
Well, I tried to do 2, but I only ended up with 1.
Well, yeah, talk us through that. I mean, just about the right amount of laps to do. You were very close to not being on pole position.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that first lap was good. I'd made a couple small mistakes, but it was pretty perfect. And so I pretty much knew I was going to be front row. So I was pretty confident in it.
Anyway, we should probably let you get going because you are in control of the start of the race. So yeah, best of luck, and we'll chat to you hopefully at the end. Good luck.
Thank you.
TC Racing's Adam there as we get ready for the start of the race here. Just waiting for the grid to assemble itself.
Yep, in the background, the drivers are getting final instructions from race control, and many of them are getting readied up. We're getting close.
Looks like we're going to have about 17 races.
17.
So we lost a couple from the end of qualifying.
Yeah, the bottom 3 who were outside of 107%.
Here we go. There's TC Racing's Adam on pole position with TRR's Texas alongside. We have 3 lights and we are green. Adam down to turn 1, still in the lead. And that's Texas right behind. Mandula's held third. But Redbot's being challenged for fourth by Sobis. And that's also Chantaria next to him.
Oh, Sob is running wide. That's giving Centuria the room. Very narrow. Oh, Elmo gets spun around, and so Team Musoni.
Yeah, big pile up there. I wonder whether that's going to be a whisper of a red flag or a safety car or something.
No, everyone's. Oh, yeah.
Red
now
flag.
It's red flag.
So that racing league, as it's an NDR sanctioned event, has red flags and safety cars and things like that. So all the cars will make their way round, and we will have a restart for the Lap Racing League season finale.
As the cars progress around the track to stop at the red flag line.
No racing is allowed. Adam just leading the cars around to the red flag line, where there will be a restart once everybody has made their way around and repaired their cars and whatnot.
At least the drainage didn't fail.
It was a bit unfortunate for the leaders because they had gotten bunched up and there was a little bit of bumping and running. Redbot had kind of an unfortunate start trying to go around the outside, then managed to gather it up, and they were all in line, and then the carnage happened behind them.
As our pace car
Adam
waits at the red flag line.
Adam having difficulty deciding which way to go to get to the red flag line.
Yeah, he's crashed into the end of the pit lane by the looks of it. Or very
Not
nearly.
directly. He hit the speed limit sign there.
Alrighty. There's going to be a full restart here.
Very interesting picture with all the cars lined up single file going around the final bend.
Yeah, kind of a surprise actually. I don't remember there being a such a big first lap wreck in Layout Racing League. Very uncommon to see that. But once all the cars have made their way around and they're back on track, we will go for a full restart and we'll begin the 19 lap race over again.
So another problem that's occurring is the internet connection to one of the competitors. It seems to involve a huge lag.
The problem with the F75, I find, is that on cold tyres, especially on that concrete stuff, if you get hit or pitched round, you are a passenger. It's very difficult to catch the F75 at the best of times, let alone on that slippery surface. I don't know if it would be any better if it was just gravel, to be honest. So yeah, sometimes drivers just need a little bit of a practice start. Some series run practice starts for this very reason. But yeah, it does look like we are ready to get this race restarted and back underway.
balance of the car is also substantially different at race start. They've been doing warm-up. They did the warm-up and qualifying laps on low fuel, and now the car is fully laden with fuel, with all the fuel in the front where the engine's in the back. So it's going to be a bit tricky for them to get around, especially on the slippery surface, like you said. Hopefully everyone has learned something from the first start, and we can get a clean restart.
Well, I was just wondering, you were talking about the rear end of the car being somewhat difficult to control, and I think it was before we went live, we were chatting here in the booth, and actually I think it was you, Travis, who said that the rear end has its own mind at times.
I remember a friend in the past said, this may be a better known quotation, but I heard it from a friend years ago, that obviously the FZ5 is inspired in part by Porsche's cars, and he said of Porsches that there's an engine in the back that wants to get to the front, and that shows in the FZ5 as well.
Here we go then for the start number 2 of the Layout Racing League season finale. Adam on pole position once again, and next to him is Teamwork Racing's Texas. Let's hope this goes away a little bit cleaner than it did last time. 2 lights are on and we are green. Adam pulls away from the grid. Good start it seems. Texas running up alongside. Redbot with a great start there, up alongside his teammate Mandula. Bit of contact in the background as we have a couple of cars out of position it seems, but Adam has bolted. See if Sobis can get a better run. He hasn't actually. Chanturia's done him again, and Soini's right there as well, and we have more contact. Chanturia being spun around a little bit there by Sobis. It's a bit of a pinch point, that hairpin. Elmo manages to get around this time without being spun out. But the big winner here, Chanturia, up to P4 from P7. We'll get an update of his position at the split points around the lap.
There's an awful lot of content back in the field, and no lack of trying to get cars pointed the right direction, but it looks like everyone is through cleanly.
So far so good. Chanturia around the outside of Redbot. That was a great move. Redbot got it all wrong on the approach to the carousel as he clouted a couple of the tyres, and Chanturia was able to make the outside line work. So he's up to P3 from P7 at the start. Adam with a bit of a gap over Texas. Mandula's all over the back of Sobis as we head on to the green section. Side by side they are. Mandula trying the outside line. He's going to have to yield that. That's not going to work. Well, he goes around the outside and makes it stick. I've never seen that done, especially not in FZ5. I'm not sure what Sobis was doing there.
That is a very impressive move.
That was a great move. As there's a move on going behind between Engatini and Magic. Magic on the outside. Engatini trying around the outside. And has to slot in behind. Mandula's got his work busy with Sobis again. They're side by side again as we head down to the last corner. Mandula on the outside this time cannot make it stick around the outside, surely. Nope, and now Elmo's wanting to get stuck in as well. But Sobis pulls a little bit of a gap now over Mandula. Great move that by Mandula in that lap.
Local managed to get up to 10th position on the first lap after qualifying more to the back. I think he was in 15th.
There's a bit of a train forming behind Sobis now, with 4 cars behind him all running line astern, which may be tricky through this section as they start to burn off fuel and the tires come up to temperature, feeling out the grip in the dusty part of the circuit. This might be a good opportunity for some of these drivers to look for mistakes and then capitalize on them as they settle into a rhythm.
There. Texas got it all wrong coming out of the rallycross part, and Chanturia's all over the back of him. He got too much angle onto the last part of that section and clipped the curb and nearly did like a half spin, and Chanturia's right there as Adam clouts a tyre. I wonder if his car's okay after that. I know that these tyres at Fernberg can cause you all sorts of trouble with your suspension and other critical parts.
Chanteria is very committed here, staying right on Texas' bumper, which is a bit brave. Oh, he looks to the inside, just gets the quarter panel of Texas, manages to slot in behind him without causing any trouble.
Oh,
Texas is on the
her.
grass and Chanteria is through, so Texas has given up P2 and Chanteria from P7 now up to P3 inside of 2 laps. But he does get quite wide, but he keeps it. It's okay. Redbot now under pressure from Sobis, who's got back past Mandula at the end of the last lap and is charging up to his teammate. Goes for a big send. He's made the move. Over to you, Travis.
Ahead of them, Adam took as much curb as you can through the sweeping left-hander and actually put the left side tires of his car over the tires that are inside the curbing there. I don't know how he gathered it up, and I'm not sure if he hasn't damaged the car, but he keeps trucking in spite of kind of a scary moment.
Yeah, those tires that you're talking about can roll the car very easily if you're too greedy.
That is an awfully quick fastest lap on the second lap of the race from Adam.
Yeah, he's already 4.5 seconds from Chanteria.
Oh, he's overcooked it into that corner, into the barriers. He's going to have Chanteria right on him.
Yeah, Adam getting a bit greedy. He doesn't need to be this greedy. He's got damage on the front right now, and Chanteria has got past 6 cars in the meantime. Sorry, 5 cars, and yeah.
Akshay TG sadly having to retire due to a black flag, a technical black flag for connection issues. We also lost 7. He had retired after lap 1. Not sure what happened to him.
So this race is way well back alive again as Chanteria is on an absolute charge, and Adam's a bit rattled, it seems. He's been in the wall, as you can see from the front right of his car. Bit of fender damage there, and we'll update you as the gap at the line.
Yeah, he lost about 1.5 seconds on this lap already. Gap's now down to 2.82 seconds.
As we said a moment ago that Adam's first racing lap was awfully quick, but behind him, Chanteria managed to do a 2:14 while going through traffic and passing a number of cars. So it looks like he has impressive pace. We'll see now in open air if Adam avoids making mistakes and Chanteria can put down the same pace.
Has caught up to Texas and is thinking about a move. This is the move for the podium as Chanteria runs wide. Chanteria in the wall, and he's been passed by Texas and Sobis, so that wasn't good at all. And Redbot's going to think about having a move up the inside there as well. Not able to make it stick, so Adam can breathe a sigh of relief as he sees the orange car going very wide ahead of him. Behind him, as Texas runs wide as well.
Sobis alongside him decides to tuck in. That wouldn't have worked, and he made the wise decision there. Chanteria will be a bit sick about that. He's going wide again and let 2 more cars through. I wonder if he had damage or if he just got the corner wrong.
Yeah, Chanteria's dropped down behind Engatini and Mandula now, and he's gone into the pit lane, in fact. So...
Yeah, he did the pit stop, the mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, so that's quite a good time to take that mandatory pit stop. Yeah, because he'll come out in a bit of free air. It's a long race though, and he doesn't want to catch up to the cars ahead of him too quickly before they serve their mandatory pit stop. Texas has stayed ahead of Sobis for now, and Redbot and Mandula are there or thereabouts.
There's a bit of frustration further back. There's a train of cars with Elmo Magic and Minvi running together. Minvi was on the horn right on Elmo's bumper. We didn't see what happened, but the order of the cars on the track doesn't reflect the order in the standings if you're actually following one of the cars. So something's happened there, and somebody is not happy about it. Further up, Sobis is still all over Texas.
Minvi runs into the back of Elmo there a little bit.
But you're right, Sobis now with a better exit from the banked carousel corner. Ooh! Climbing that curb heavily.
Yeah, Texas has been off the track there several times in the race and qualifying, in fact. Qualifying mostly, actually. Sober's not as close as he was the last lap. And Adam is streaking away in the distance as they both, or Texas goes quite deep.
It looks to me like he's really struggling with the rear of the car around this circuit. It has kind of a flow to
Ooh,
it, some fairly
Sober's
committed
really
corners.
Side by side around the final corner. Redbot's is going to be loving this. And Sobers has made the move, actually. That was quite good.
That was a brave move and well done.
Sobers up to P2 as they head back over
Yeah.
the start-finish.
As I was saying, it looks to me like Texas is struggling with getting the power down and keeping the rear of the car under control. I wonder if he's trying to brake too hard, or if the bias isn't right. But he is now he's moving backwards while Adam streaks ahead, and Asobis is quickly extending a gap as well.
Riding on board with Sobis as he goes onto this really tricky concrete section as he seems like the only car that's able to really challenge Adam. That's Adam up ahead just going around the next corner. It's always nicer to chase than it is to be chased, I think, in racing. And on a layout with so many corners, 18 corners, and all of them tricky, in a car that most might argue is one of the hardest cars to drive consistently and quickly and live for speed, the heaviest road car, and it likes to chew its tyres, the F5.
Looking back, oh, go ahead, Thilo.
Just wanted to say that Soini did his mandatory pit stop, so 2 cars in.
Looking back, Canturia did a pretty good outlap, a 2:17 on his outlap, and he's trying to manage a car on full fuel. He had caught up to Elmo, went wide on a couple corners here, so he's lost a little bit of time. But we'll keep an eye on him and see how he progresses, having done his pit stop.
Sober's committed on the curbs. I'd be interested on a gap update of the line, Thilo, when these guys come round. See whether he is actually catching him on pace. But Texas is staying with him for now. Does look like that gap has come down a little bit. To
3.84 seconds. So it was around 4 seconds. Sober's closed that gap about 0.2.
Someone can tell me if this is just a feature of the cars going over the dusty part of the circuit, or if Adam has a problem. I see what looks like tire smoke coming from his car.
Dust.
It's dust. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit distracting, isn't it? Because it's the only surface that causes that sort of white dust in the infield of Fern Bay, as far as I know. No other
Thank you
surface
for noting
causes
this.
that white smoke.
It's grey, and if it was from the tire, it will be much lighter. If
I
you
had
don't...
I had not noticed before, and it looked like a problem, but now you are right. It has gone away.
To be honest, I don't think I would have remembered that had you not mentioned it. It's a bit of an odd thing to see grey dust, but yeah, normally it's just brown or kind of goldy dust from the rallycross sections. So.
Or greeny from when
the
you...
grass, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adam is looking comfortable out front now after that little scuffle. But Sobis is definitely catching. No doubt about it now.
Gap down to 3 seconds. He is catching him. A second since they crossed the start-finish line.
We have our second
Loco is out of the race.
Full retirement from Loco. Argentinian Turismo. Or Yes Motorsport, or whichever team he's representing. Sobis quite deep there in the at the end of the green straight, but look at Adam now, he's really closing in on him.
Yeah, lost about a second so far on this lap. Gap is down to 2.4 seconds.
There are your top 3 on screen. Sobis currently in P2 as he rounds this final little chicane. A brilliant track this. A lot of fun for the drivers, I'm sure.
Adam got it a bit wrong going through the first corner and lost the rear of the car. I managed to gather it up, but I expect we will find that Sobis has taken even more time out of him. Adam goes a little bit hot into this corner too, manages to gather it up. Seems like Sobis is in better control than Adam is right now.
Yeah, look at that. Sobis is taking chunks out of Adam's lap. They're all having to be so careful as Minv takes his mandatory pit stop. Chanturia, currently the highest driver who has taken his mandatory pit stop. Everyone ahead of him has yet to stop. So this is the time of the race where Chanturia needs to be putting in his best laps.
Gap steady now at about 2.5 seconds. Going back and forth watching Adam and Sobis. Adam is driving very aggressively, using a lot of curb, trying to get the power down very early. Sobis is notably much smoother, but Adam's managed to steady the gap. So we'll see if smooth holds up, or if aggression is what Sobis will need to get on Adam's tail and maybe make a pass. Looking back, Chanturia, to see how he's getting along. He has lost track of Elmo and has just gotten passed by Essam. He got it all wrong out of the carousel, did a big drift, and then went sideways into the wall before he gathered it up, let Essam by. It seemed like he might have the pace early on in the race to challenge the leaders, but it really looks like it's getting away from him now.
Yeah, it's a tyre problem, right? As he loses the car
and now he's
completely,
looped.
yeah, that's absolutely looped round on him. So yeah, it looks like his setup just wasn't tuned for this longer race, and now he's got nice white smoke coming out of the rears of that car, and it looks like he's going for a bit of a drifting session and just flourish to the end of his what was looking like a promising race.
Maybe we should look to the top, as Sobis is now on the bumper of Adam. 1.5 seconds he closed on the last lap.
The battle for the lead then, and we're approaching halfway through this race, and Adam's got it all to do. Looked very comfortable out front, but his lead has been gobbled up by Sobis and Texas. Texas has stayed there or thereabouts with Sobis, and now Adam needs to defend that position because Texas may want to get involved in this. Anyway, so Adam doing all he needs to do, defending the inside there. Sobis ran a bit deep. There aren't many places to pass. The end of the straight is probably the best one. Adam hits the wall. He must be struggling with his tyres. He's running very deep. Sobis is able to take a much tighter line. Yeah, Adam's struggling with that car now.
Sobis very committed. Adam manages to get a pretty good exit through there though, so Sobis can't quite make up the ground here. Further back, Chanturia did throw in the towel. He's called his race after doing some impressive drifting, as Sobis takes a peek to the inside, can't quite get it done. Makes a wise choice not to force the issue.
It was close. Sobis is going to have a run here though, down into the braking zone for the final corner. He's on the inside. Adam won't have anything to say. He tries to hold it around the outside. He has a nose there. That's a good defence. Sobis pushed a little bit deep. That's very nice driving there. That's
nice.
So tight through there, and Adam's kept the position. That's great stuff.
Oh, a big send from Sobis gets into the side of his car. After all of that discretion and care and a demonstration of driving talent, gets it done. Tries to get it done a bit aggressively in the first corner, but they managed to stay on the road.
If this was a real Porsche, now the radiator would be gone.
Yeah, amongst a lot of other bits. As we ride on board with Texas, who's now, in fact, yes, has caught up to the back of Sobers and Adam as we head through this wonderful rallycross infield. And here the top three are nose to tail with half the race gone. So this is great stuff.
What they've miscalculated that is very difficult for racing drivers to remember while they're going around is that as they were fighting and driving side by side, they erased their gap back to Texas. They had a bit of breathing room where the two of them could calculate and race, and now it's all three of them running a line astern, with any one of them ready to pounce on a mistake.
Yeah, as they all make their way over the Carousel bridge, then Adam leads the way, only just ahead of Sobis. He hits the wall again on the outside. He likes doing that. Sobis again with the tighter line, and now he's alongside and backs out before the chicane.
Oh, both running wide and Adam on the grass. This opens the door for Texas. Going for the outside through the king.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Adam's going to try and make this move back. He's not happy that he's lost that place, and he's being quite aggressive about this. And he's gone for the move on Texas, forces Texas out wide, and takes the place back. And yeah, top four now.
I was about to say, while all this has happened, Redbot has caught the three of them, and now all four of them running within a second and a half of each other.
Oh, Sobis wide there.
Would it be wise for Redbot to pit at this point, rather than watching this fight?
Well, Chanturia's out of the equation now. The fast-charging Chanturia, he's out. So I think track position wins at this point. I wouldn't throw in the towel right now. You know, and also it might be more fun for him to get the job done on the track. Who knows? Sobis looks like if he can do the next few corners cleanly, then he's just going to run away with this. As Adam goes for a really big send. Sobis was wise to it. Adam really isn't happy that he's been passed by Sobis. He's doing everything he can to get back ahead, and it's almost worked. Texas has nudged him and almost pitched him round. That was opportunistic and from Texas there. Adam will not be happy with that, and yeah, Sobis has been let free once again. Texas getting his nose in where it didn't belong there.
Nice, clean and close racing here with the FZ5. Halfway down through the race.
I'm watching this unfold from Redbot's view, so if there's an opportunity for Redbot to pounce, then I can see it happen from the driver's view, and the racing ahead is so exciting. It is so tight, so aggressive, but they are remarkably clean. I'm very impressed. I say that as Redbot clouts Texas' bumper coming through the carousel. Looked like Texas had to get on the brakes to keep the car under control.
Yeah, Redbot being very cautious on the accelerator out onto the carousel, and you can see what that's done. It's opened up this pack of four a lot. Adam, I wonder if Adam's going to have any response. He looked very, very racy on this lap, but a little bit undone there by Texas, pushing him a bit, pitching him around a little bit. But yeah, it does look like he's still got the pace in that car, so maybe he just needs to cool the tyres down, maybe? He still holds the fastest lap. But with the FZ5, the fastest lap doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win. Because it means you've eaten your tyres more, usually.
Texas has gone a bit wide and got it wrong coming out of the corner, but that caused Redbot to check up. They almost gathered each other up. But they continue. They've spread out a little bit now, though I think a simple mistake, a small mistake, could cause them to all bunch up again.
Adam's right up to the back of Sobis in his favourite part of the lap. Takes a wider line in. Sobis with the narrower line. Adam does run a bit deep. Because this track is obviously... No one's driven this track before today without rallycross dust being here. No one really knows what line is best, and they're all just experimenting as Adam takes a tighter line in and a wider line out. Sobis does the exact opposite, and it looks like it's worked in Sobis' favour on that occasion. Adam will learn from that on the next lap, I'm sure, as he taps the wall. And Sobis has got a bit more of a margin over him now. Texas also has a bit of a margin over Redbot, so the top three stringing out just a little bit now.
Adam was very aggressive on the brakes into the left-hander there and just got the car stopped in time, turned it in with the throttle, and you can see it now that he's picked up a little bit to Sobis.
Sam has made his mandatory pit stop, so we're just waiting now, ready for the leaders to come in. Simjin Tas moves out of the way, he's a lap down.
Looking further down the order, there really aren't that many contests. Mandula has about a 1.5 second lead on Magic. So somebody correct me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It is a string of characters that I've interpreted
It's good enough.
to be
It's Magic, yeah.
Magic. Okay, thank you. Otherwise, the field is fairly spread out. The race is definitely at the front.
Yep. Mind you, with the number of cars we've lost, the front is the race. And 12 cars remaining.
SM just served his pit stop, and he is coming back out now.
Redbot's closed back up to Texas. Whether Texas had a bad end to the lap, I don't know, but I think it just looks like Redbot had a better lap. Maybe now is the time for Redbot to pit. It doesn't look like he's got the pace. I would have said that it would have been risky for him to pit while these three ahead were battling when he was right there, but now that Texas isn't really making any ground on Adam and Redbot is kind of coming up to the back of Texas, maybe he is considering doing his pit stop now as he runs very wide.
Adam is on his prey. Oh, Sobis goes a little bit wide, and Adam's able to get to the inside of the right-hander, but he's going to be outside on the left-hander. Makes a wise decision to tuck in behind. Adam has seemed to pick up the pace. It looks to me, Thilo, Pete, tell me what you think. It looks to me like it's just difficult to lead. With a rabbit in front, it's easy to set a more responsible pace. It looks like the leaders whoever has led this race has struggled.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it's often easier to chase than it is to follow, especially on a track that you don't know. Sorry, than it is to lead, especially on a track you don't know, because Adam can learn from what he's seeing ahead. He can see what's working, what isn't. The only way that Sobis can really learn is by looking in his rearview mirror, which he's not going to be doing all that much. As Adam again taking a tighter line than he usually does there, and that's paid dividends a little bit. But yeah, still struggling with those tyres, kind of preying on mistakes from Sobis.
Those are exceptional splits from Sobis and Adam on worn tyres and still a bit of fuel in the cars. And they're gapping. It shows in the gap to Texas.
At the end of this lap, we'll have 6 remaining, and they will have to serve their mandatory pit stop within 5 of those. So at some point, these guys are coming down the pit lane. Whether they will come down together or not remains to be seen. I wonder whether Redbot is going to pull in now, though. It just looks like he's come up against Texas. I mean, Adam and Sobis are holding each other up again, so whether these guys just bunch up and we end up with the repeat of what we had before as Adam runs really wide. I thought he was going to hit the pit lane. He's going for a move. He's taking the wide line. This has worked before.
Sobis went wide out of the last corner, and Adam had
and Adam's pitched him round. Adam kind of helps Sobis on his way and gives the position back. That's good racing. But Texas and Redbot will not care. They will just send it. And Texas is challenging for the lead. Redbot for third. A little bit unlucky there for Adam to pitch Sobis round and send these two back into the clutches of these guys, but very fair to help him round and not bolt off into the distance. Sobis does retake the lead, and Texas up to second then.
There was the question in the chat if people might want to choose to change the tires. I would say no, because the only advantage you have is on the first lap with the fresh tires. And you're losing about 16 seconds just by changing them. Oh,
Texas has gone off, and Adam's taken over P2, and Redbot's up to third. So Redbot, being the most patient of these three, up to third now. Let's see if he can keep that place or even gain any more with all this nonsense that's going on around him.
Oh, Adam
hitting the wall again. Didn't see it, but heard it. Great stuff. This is what happens when you give the drivers a tricky car and a tricky track. You end up with awesome side-by-side racing throughout the whole race. As Adam runs wide again, and Redbot looking to get P2 here. Definitely doesn't want to pit now. He can forget what I said earlier. He should just go for this and pit as late as possible.
Patience is paying off for Redbot here.
Absolutely.
He has watched events unfold in front of him and is slowly capitalizing on it.
He
And
also has the best tires, well, a part of Sobis.
I was about to ask. I would have guessed that his tires were in much better condition than everyone else, and you've confirmed it, Thilo. I feel like he will be in the best shape toward the end of the race, unless somebody takes a gamble on tires, which seems awfully unlikely. It just uses so much time.
I wonder which of these 4 drivers at the front has practiced the pit stop the most. Apparently the top 5 are the only cars yet to pit, Travis and Thilo. So Engatini, Texas, Redbot, Adam and Sobers are the only cars left to serve their mandatory pit stop. Everybody else has been down pit lane once already, at least. Sobers leads from Adam, leads from Redbot, and then Texas and Engatini. Tyres screaming.
We've seen this a couple times during the race where there's kind of an accordion effect with the leaders. Now they've spread out a little bit again. Texas at the back of the line is clearly struggling with his rear tires, but we've seen before. We may see again. One small mistake may bunch them all up again. We'll have more side-by-side racing as they come around to their pit stops and the final laps of the race.
If you wonder how big the influence of the tires is, the best lap was for the most drivers around 2 minute 12. The last lap, the leader did a 2 minute 18.
Redbot's going to have a great opportunity here. Adam got so much slide on into the carousel that Redbot's been unlucky there. He just met Adam just as he came into the chicane. Adam's struggling to keep the power down. Sobis has gapped these guys, and like you said, Travis, Redbot being the most patient, he is going to be well set to take over at least second, I'd say, at this point. Adam's all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, Adam's rears are now starting to get even more red than they were just a couple of corners ago.
We've not seen this since the beginning of the race when Adam held a 4 or 5 second lead. Sobis has actually extended a gap, the biggest we've seen since the very beginning of the race. We'll see if Adam can gather it up or not. Like Thilo, you said he's really, really struggling. What can he do about it?
Sobis pits.
Aggressive undercut.
I think you might have to repeat your question for Thilo. I think he was...
Oh, we've got a car beached.
Who is beached?
Syngenta's and the safety car is deployed.
Oh wow, I think that car is a long way off the road for a safety car to be needed. That's going to absolutely hamper Sobis. Sobis cannot win this race now. That's unfortunate.
No, he is in a perfect position.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
when
he's
the
in a
car's
perfect
bunched
position
up.
to win the race. My mistake. The opposite is true. That's unfortunate timing. We were teed up for a grandstand finish between the top 4, but Sobis has picked the exact right time to come into the pit lane just before a safety car got called. So unless Redbot, Texas and Adam can get round and in the pits without losing too much time, Sobis looks pretty much set to take this race to the flag, having already
It
done
is
his
a
pit
long
lane.
lap.
Yeah, it is a long lap, and Redbot, Adam and Texas are all still flat out. They are not lifting. Adam knows exactly what to do here. He needs to keep his foot pinned.
Yeah, but there's a back marker and they may not overtake.
Yeah, so this is it. And
Oh,
Adam's got past.
He
Adam's
goes-
overtaken.
Okay.
They're all passing the back marker. This is interesting stuff here. We're not really sure
Oh dear.
what the protocol is going to
Do
be.
we consider that SM has ceded the position, or
He was going
what
very
happened here?
slow, but it was safety car. We'll see what the race control says in a bit, but yeah, it looks like the race leader Adam, Redbot and Texas have shot past the back marker under safety car. And I'm assuming that they knew the situation. They knew that if they didn't go for this, then the race win was gone.
What's interesting is that Essam was going around slowly under safety car conditions, safety car rules, and after the leaders blew by him, he's realized that maybe he should keep his pace up.
Yeah, here comes Adam then in pit lane, followed by Redbot and Texas. They've all decided to go, but where is Sobis? Sobis is through. I mean, yeah, it now depends on whether Texas, Redbot, and Adam can get out ahead of any other traffic, which it looks like they have managed. So will there be a penalty for
Gottini
passing the
now
back
also
marker?
to the pits. He will be overtaken by Mandula at least. Probably also Magic.
Yeah, there they go. So, Adam, Redbot, and Texas have a pit stop under their belt. This is a lights to flag. Well, it will be a race to the finish for 4 laps, 3 laps by the time they get round. But pending any post-race penalties, we assume, for those 3. But let's ignore that for now and try and enjoy the on-track battle to the end.
Yeah, let's regard this as an exhibition race for the next Layout Racing League season.
Yeah, absolutely. Having been involved in the last 2 seasons in both driving and as a steward capacity, and now broadcaster, I have to say this is one of my favourite up-and-coming leagues in LFS. It's unfortunate that the attendance hasn't been that big, and I think that if we can help to publicise it for next season, then we will, because it is great. It's obviously sanctioned by NDR, which means you get the whole live stewarding, safety cars, red flags, all that fun stuff that kind of just adds to the whole racing experience. And the organising team, Nova and Nika Pantola, they've done a great job of putting this on for the second season. Everyone involved has had a good time, and if you want to join for season 3, keep an eye on the LFS forum next year, because it's well worth joining in with. This year was 12 rounds of all custom layouts, different cars each time. And Trespasser, the champion of season 2, not here today, but he lifted the crown, the trophy, took the trophy away from me actually a couple of rounds ago.
Just wanted to say, yeah.
So safety car in this lap. Sobis leads the cars around for the restart, and we'll have 3 laps to go before the winner is crowned for the final round of LRL 2020.
Yeah, we have an interesting situation in this restart now, where all of these drivers who were struggling with hot tires, losing grip, especially on the dust, now have cold tires that they have to drive on the dust with enough fuel to carry them the last 3 laps of the race.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call those tires cold, but they are at least now again in a temperature window that the drivers appreciate more, I guess. I mean, for Adam, this is really fortunate. After losing pretty much the lead on the track, he is now regaining it on the safety car restart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sobis is backwards, clouded Mandula off the track. He's managed to gather it up, but he's lost a lot of positions. He's now all the way back behind Soini.
And behind Elmo and Soini, Elmo with an interesting angle through the Omega section now into the Carousel.
Adam with a great start there, but yeah, Sobis dropped way down the order. Way down the order, in fact. And it looks like on countback we will have Mandula winning this race potentially.
And for Adam, the situation is now similar to the first couple of laps where the tires were in the perfect window. Only difference now, it's not Texas or Sobis or anyone from that range behind him. It's now Redbot, and Redbot still seems to be rather strong on those tires, although his car also looks a little bit worn at this point of the race.
Yeah, and as we head into the final 2 laps, then Adam has opened up a bit of a gap, but remember that there's still probably going to be trouble based on the safety car shenanigans that happened before these 3 tore past the safety car tore past the back marker under safety car conditions. And yeah, so Redbot, Texas, and Adam will surely be under investigation for that, and we'll see what that happens with that post race. As Sobis now fighting with Mandula for what may be the win on countback. Sorry, with Magic now for the win on countback.
Mandula's doing well, Magic as well, just to stay with the cars ahead. He doesn't have to do anything heroic. He just needs to keep it on the road and avoid any trouble, and wait for Stewart's decisions to unfold.
So the contact Sobis had earlier is Sobis getting a warning for that as he goes inside of Elmo and into the Carousel. He advances to 7th position. Adam flying over that curb in the kink.
Yeah, I think the safety car has done him a world of good. It allowed him to manage his tyre temperature slightly, I think, and just give him a bit more confidence on these final 3 laps. We're approaching the end of the penultimate lap now then, and we will see whether he can hold it for the remaining laps.
His tyres are already much hotter than those of Redbot. Redbot still playing the tyre conservation game rather well, and we've seen the drop-off of the hot tyres, so it's not yet over. Both drivers doing a 2-minute 12.7.
Mandula has caught Texas and Redbot, though he may feel like he needs to get past them. And if he has an opportunity, it certainly wouldn't be unwise to do so. He's got a bit of a gap to Magic, though, so he doesn't need to force the issue too much. Further back, Sobis has caught Magic. He's going pretty quickly.
Wow, he got around Gottini somehow.
Well, he was close to Mandula, wasn't he? So that's not a position change. As yet, he's actually been dropping back, and Sobis and Engatini have been catching him. And yeah, Mandula looks set for a very good result here, based on what could be a post-race penalty for the top 3.
Magic has lost his teammate. Sobis is all over him coming through the carousel. He may yet get a good result out of this.
Adam's tires are now completely red. He has to nurse it around the final half of the lap. And he's dropping off quite significantly. The gap is now shrinking from corner to corner. Redbot now with the way better tires.
Wow, with 3 corners remaining, can Redbot seal the deal here? That'd be remarkable.
Look how much he approaches him under braking.
I wonder if Redbot knows. I wonder if Redbot knows that he just has to send it. I mean, look how wide Adam's going, and Redbot not really putting the power down as effectively as he needs to. just the final corner and a little bit of a chicane to go. Red bot lining Adam up. Adam really wide. I think Adam's just done just enough. Needs to be careful on the exit though. As we head to the start-finish line, Adam takes the checker flag to win the season finale of the Layout Racing League ahead of Redbot and Texas. But
Ooh.
coming across the line now is Mandula, who we believe may win after the post-race penalties. Magic P5, Sobus P6 after a terrible restart, you have to say. Engatini for Teo P7, Elmo P8 for TC Racing. Then it's World Class Lions, Timu Soini in P9. And yeah, we've got a couple of cars that are still out and about on the circuit waiting to come round. And then we can finalise the full classification of this race. And yeah.
Texas gave it a very impressive effort on the final lap. You'll notice that his best lap is a 12:06. He did that on the last lap of the race.
That's impressive to do the last lap with old tyres in the SF5. I have to say that's very impressive. Very, very nice work from him.
Well, I guess Adam now can thank the creator of this layout that there were no further corners added into the layout.
Definitely. Who are we still waiting for, or is that everybody now? I think we've got a couple of people still coming around. Pit Lane Racer and Essam still out on the track. So we'll wait.
Both of them couldn't catch up to the safety car queue, so they are still around. And it looks like Essam is actually closing up the Pit Lane Racer.
Pit Lane Racer's car with a lot of damage. He's very politely put the hazard lights on so that Essam behind can see the hazard.
Yeah, but he manages to nurse the car back through the final chicane. And he goes over the start finish to finish in 10th, putting Essam into 11th and final position.
Gentlemen, this was a fun and exciting race.
It was, wasn't it? It was absolutely fascinating. I think, the middle of the race was certainly entertaining with, Adam and Texas, Redbot and Sobis all going at it. And then the inspired decision of Sobis to pit under just before the safety car came out.
It would have been interesting to see how the racing turned out without the safety car. That would still have been much fun with the different strategies on how to conserve the tires. But yeah, actually the race was a great advertisement not only for the Layout Racing League but also for the FZ5 in my eyes. Underrated and underappreciated car. There should definitely be something like an FZ5 Super Cup, I guess.
Oh, maybe.
Just seeding those ideas out into the public.
Yeah, the FZ5 often overlooked as a racing car, but especially today on the LRL, it was full of surprises. Texas getting the fastest lap on the last lap with a car that you wouldn't expect that from. Adam, or anybody who was leading the race, Adam and Sobis struggling to lead. But anyway, yeah. Thilo, I believe you have to leave us. So
yes,
any parting words?
I have to. Was fun. See you next time.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us. So Travis, round up your LRL experience this evening.
This was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching that a lot. The racing was close, a bit aggressive at times. A good mix of aggression and conservatism and wisdom and folly. And it was fun to see the race unfold. Kind of the accordion effect of the cars at the front. Losing sight of each other and then closing up again on mistakes. I'm just so impressed they were able to run so closely without anyone going off or having a big accident. It was a really good race.
Certainly was. And joining us in the commentary box once again this evening is TC Racing's Adam. Hi, Adam.
Hello.
We have a couple of questions. Mainly, what happened with the back marker after the safety car was called? You three shot past, yeah. Do you reckon you're going to keep that win? I mean, it was a good win. It was a great race. Talk us through it.
Well, to me, it looked like he was slowing down to let us past. He was all the way on the left side of the track, and he was on the brakes. So I don't see why I would get penalised for that. It's a bit. I mean, if it is, it's a weird one. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
It didn't have it all your way at the beginning. Sobis was in front of you at one point, and you managed to get him on the restart. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I went out the gates a bit too fast, and I basically my tyres were overheated by about 15 degrees, and I was struggling, and he got past me. Lucky enough to have a safety car cool them down. And I knew if there was any place I was going to get him, it was going to be off the restart, because I like to think I'm pretty good at them. And yeah, he had a bit of a weird one. He hesitated a bit, and I just snuck up the inside. And he went wide.
Yeah, it was a really entertaining restart. Travis, go ahead.
The two of you had a moment where you got into Sobis' quarter panel and turned him sideways, and then he managed to get pointed the right direction. Was that a courtesy by you, having gotten into his car and turning him sideways, to point in the right direction again, or did he just happen to be in the way of the racing line and lucked out to get pointed the right direction so that you could move through?
It was definitely a courtesy. It was definitely on purpose. I mean, it probably was kind of he was in the way, but once I realised he was in the way, I was like, let's not ram into him, let's give him a nice little tap.
Yeah, it was good to see, honestly. No one wants to see a car spun round with 3 laps to go, and it was a good little recovery.
And it was exciting for us because as you were doing that, the cars behind ended up right on your bumpers. So there was a lot of good racing that came out of that.
Yeah, that was the one place where I was much faster than him into that first corner. So I just kind of assumed he would be on the power earlier, but I just went into his rear. A bit of a shoddy one from me.
Anyway, congrats on the win. We'll see what happens with the stuff post-race. But how do you rate your LRL experience this season?
Well, I did the first race and I timed out of it, which was a bit of a shame because I was doing well. And this is the only other race I've done, so I'd say pretty good.
Yeah, well, a win in the only race you finished can't be bad. And will you be looking out for the next season of LRL, do you think? I know you've competed in season 1 and 2.
It's one of those seasons where it always looks very interesting, but it's on a bit of an awkward time, kind of midday on Saturday. So when I do catch the races, I do really enjoy them. So yeah, I will be looking out for it.
Let's have a quick word with Sobis, who finished quite a way down the order in the end in P6. Sobis, talk us through your race, if you don't mind.
Hello.
Hi there.
Well, that was an interesting race. I started 5th, but my main goal was to manage the tires, and I think I did great. I think I was the only one who was tire warming at the safety car. Yeah, so that was a fun race. Unfortunately, the safety car messed it up. Well, okay, I messed up myself. I braked too late at the first corner, so I went from first to 5th, and then it went downhill.
Yeah, your restart was not fantastic, to say the least. We thought as soon as you came into the pits and the safety car was called, we thought the race was yours. But then Adam, Texas, and Redbot did an absolutely brilliant lap. Yeah. To pit just behind you, basically, and that restart really cost you.
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm sorry to Mandula. I braked way too late there.
Well, don't be too sorry for Mandula, because if Adam, Redbot, and Texas get a penalty, then Mandula will take over the win of this race, because those three passed a back marker on the under safety car. You might be glad to know. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, I was quite annoyed when the incident happened, but then again, this is my second race in this league, so it's not like I'm competing for points or anything.
Yeah,
It
what did
was
you
ex-
make of the LRL?
Oh, I liked it. Too bad I didn't really have the time for it.
Okay, well, yeah, there's plenty of races coming next year. I'm sure you can get involved in if you have the time to.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll do my best. Yeah, these layout racing are, well, it's quite different.
It's technical.
Technical, and well, it's not like anyone is used to these. The
Exactly,
standard
it's a level
tracks.
playing field.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the race was super fun because I did jump between the cars from time to time with Tab, and I saw that everyone had problems, and I was like, this is so good for me.
Yeah, Redbot was the only other driver who was kind of on a similar, seemed to be on similar pace to you and similar kind of tyre conservation levels. He was doing very well with his tyres. We thought he might win the race at one point.
Yeah,
We
nice.
we talked during the race about how the leaders seemed to struggle a little bit with having cars in their mirrors, and you did a good job to get to the front, and then it seemed like it was a little difficult out in the lead. Is that true? How did you feel when you were out front?
Yeah, trailing someone is definitely easier on the tires because you kind of just wait for their mistake or analyze and see where you're faster. But yeah, being in front, in theory, it should be easier. You have no one to worry about, and I was, well, far enough in front most of the time. But one or two mistakes, and someone is already behind me. So yeah, being in the front, for some reason, it was harder. Though most of the time, I think it's easier if you're far away enough.
Travis alluded to this a couple of times during the race that leading definitely harder, or it looked harder.
Yeah, it was.
So thanks Sobis for joining us. Thank you Adam as well. Great to chat to you both. Hope you enjoyed the round, and hope to see you next season.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Have a great evening. So Travis, let's wrap this up. LRL, good final race, plenty of drama, which we love to see. And yeah, coming up tomorrow on Sim Broadcasts is the return of the TBOC. We are at South City Chicane Route for round 2 of the NDR TBO Challenge, live on Sim Broadcasts tomorrow from 3 o'clock UTC as part of the NDR doubleheader weekend. Yeah, Travis, what do you reckon of today's? Just sum up today's racing.
It was close. It was very exciting. It was really good racing from flag to flag. My only regret about LRL is that this is the first race that I commentated or even watched. I wish I had seen the whole thing, but I will be back to see the next season because this is excellent. It was a really great race. I hope to see more. Maybe drive in some. We'll see.
Yeah, well, hopefully we are broadcasting it. We don't know yet, but we'll let you know. We hope you can all join us tomorrow for the Turbo Challenge by NDR. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks to the drivers for putting on a spectacle. We hope to see you next time. Thanks, Travis. Good night.
Thank you.